Recently, we had an experience at our home. You know, the weather's been very, very hot. And more recently, this week especially, and parts of last week, we had the air conditioner on because it was really, really hot. But prior to that, it wasn't quite as hot, and we would like to save a little money. The way my wife puts it, I'm cheap. And that really hurts, by the way. But we had the windows open and the fan on, and our neighbors had the windows open. And one night, we heard the mother talking to her children. And we could hardly believe what we were hearing. She said, "You, fill in the blanks, GD kids, open this blankety blank door." And she went on for like 30 seconds. Every four-letter word, cursing her kids because her kids evidently were in the bedroom with the door locked. And she was wanting in to see what they were doing. And they weren't just opening the door right away because evidently they wanted to maybe hide what they were doing. I don't know what they were doing, but I do know that the mother used words that were mean, they were forceful, and probably would have a devastating effect on those kids. I remember my parents, they used to curse occasionally, but I don't remember my parents ever cursing me. Cursing words, according to the Bible, come out of the same mouth as blessings that we speak. These are words. They can be like life, or they can be like death. There are two ways to speak sweeter. And right after I share these two ways with you, I'm going to ask Barbara to come up and tell you just a short story about words and what a difference they had to make. But two ways to speak sweeter. Number one, appreciate people. Let your lives overflow with thanksgiving for all He has done. So we speak sweeter by appreciating people. Who do you appreciate? You know, a while back, I was out to eat with somebody who said, you know, what I started doing when I go out to eat is leaving a generous tip. Now, typically, if the service was okay, I'd leave 15%. If the service was really rotten, I'd leave 10%. I never left 20% until I talked to this person and they told me, you know, most of the waiters and waitresses are the working poor. They get paid minimum wage and they work for tips. They work hard, they work long hours, but they don't get paid much. And they said, so whenever we go out to eat, we try to help the working poor by leaving a generous tip. And so I've started doing that practice. And boy, I'll tell you, it makes you feel good. Makes you feel good that you're able to give a generous tip to someone who has served you. Thank you. It's a way of saying thank you. So we appreciate people. We appreciate those who serve us, whether it be at work or at home or in a restaurant or at church or wherever. We appreciate people. The other thing is to encourage people. The Bible says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 11. Encourage people. How neat is that? To think that you actually possess some power to influence other people in a positive way for Jesus Christ, and you don't even have to give a Bible study. You just say, I'm so happy to see you today. Or, you know, you did such a great job teaching that Bible class. Or, you know, thank you so much for the way you assisted in this or that or the other thing. So you just encourage people. So you appreciate people and encourage people. Everybody you meet should feel appreciated and encouraged. So we're going to ask Barbara to come up now and tell a story that she has been reading about in a book. It's about Jamie.
Well, I've been out of work, and so I've had a chance to read. Yay! Change Your Brain, Change Your Life by Dr. Daniel Amen. And he tells a story of a 14-year-old named Jamie who came to him after she was hospitalized after she tried to kill herself because she was very, very depressed. He treated her, released her from the hospital, and then continued to see her for a couple of years. And the visits got down to every month. And one month, Jamie came in to the doctor and said, I just can't stand my mother. By now she's 16 years old, so any of us probably at that age probably couldn't stand our mothers at some time or another. But her mother happened to have some problems similar to the type that Jamie had had, but her mother did not want to seek the assistance of a psychiatrist like Jamie had. So Dr. Amen's suggestion to her was, Jamie, all along I've told you when your mother gets upset with you to try not to react, because when you react, you just make her worse because she has ADD. So try to stay calm. But I'm going to add something to that. You've done that pretty well, but I'm going to add something to that. I'm going to suggest that when your mother appreciates you, acts appropriately, then you give her a hug and a kind word. Tell her how much you love her and how much you appreciate her. So Jamie thought, oh, brother, I don't think I can do this, but I'll give it a try. So she came back to Dr. Amen the next month, and she was thrilled. She said, you won't believe it, but when my mom acted appropriately, I gave her lots of hugs. I told her how much I appreciated her and loved her. And you know what? She only yelled at me one time the whole month. She said to the doctor, I have power to help things or make things worse. And doesn't that remind you of the text that Ken just read, the Proverbs 18:21 text, that the tongue has power over life and death?
Thank you. So she and her mother were arguing constantly, and then through the power of hugs and the power of words, there was a change in the behavior. I think that's fantastic. It's a great story. I'd like to give you an opportunity today to encourage someone or appreciate someone, or maybe both. You appreciate and encourage them. Take your bulletin, and let's see, I put mine over here. And in your bulletin, you will find that there is a card. And it looks like this. And there's an envelope for it as well. You can fold the card, and it will fit into the envelope.